So, so I accidentally erased my video about my first jump at Airborne School. So I'm gonna tell the story again. I say it all the time. I was in the military, US Army. I was an airborne soldier, right? Which is an honor. You know what I'm saying? When I went to the military, I didn't necessarily have plans on going to jump school. That wasn't necessarily part of the plan. It kind of just became a part of the plan as I progressed and grew in the military, right? So airborne school, AIT is kind of like like military college. That's where you go to learn your whatever your MOS, your field of your field of what you're gonna be doing for the military or whatever. That's where you start to learn it at is AIT. So you go to basic training, and that's when you learn just basic soldier shit, discipline, how to carry and shoot your rifle, how to clean your rifle, how to disassemble your rifle, how to assemble your rifle, how to do push-ups correctly, how to hand-to-hand combat, just real light on a lot of that stuff. How to run. Running is not light, real heavy on the running. But you go to basic training. The way it works is you go to basic training, and then if you complete basic training, you go to AIT. AIT is kind of, like I said, it's kind of like an Army college type situation, right? My AIT was in Georgia. It was at Fort Gordon, Georgia, in a small town called Augusta, Georgia. And I used to love Augusta. Augusta, Georgia had some bad motherfucking bitches. Augusta, Georgia had some bad bitches. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, Augusta had them. Georgia, period. Georgia got some beautiful women. That's a fact. So, matter of fact, I might even have a child. I might even have made a baby out there motherfucker when I was out there on the cool. Straight up, that's a whole nother podcast. But I might have another child running around this motherfucker from when I was in Augusta, Georgia. But, so I left AIT. I got orders to, where did I get my orders to go to? I got orders. Did we get orders? I'm trying to remember exactly how I got the order, how I ended up even signing up to go to airborne school. I remember the airborne people came to our barracks. I do remember that. The airborne sergeants and whatnot that were recruiting for airborne school, they came to our barracks and they talked to us about it, this and the third, and I decided, yeah, I want to go airborne. You know what I'm saying? So I signed up. It was a 3-week school. You had to complete it. You couldn't get sent home. It was some serious high speed shit. But I wanted to do it, right? Matter of fact, no, let me tell you another reason why I did it. Because at first I didn't even want to do it. I remember now. I got orders for Korea. That's what happened. I got orders for Korea, and I didn't want to go to Korea. So what I was gonna do, my plan was I would go to airborne school, and that way, once I got my wings, they wouldn't send me to Korea. They would send me to Fort Bragg, because that's where they sent all the airborne soldiers. So that was kind of my plan, was, you know what I'm saying, to fucking get out of going to Korea by going to airborne school. But I also wanted to do that shit too, though. Once I talked to the jump sergeants and whatnot about it and whatnot, because I was kind of I already wanted to do it. I was just kind of on the fence anyways. But then when they came and visited us at the barracks and talked to us about it and shit, then that kind of pushed me over the ledge to go ahead and do it, right? And at the same time, I was trying to get out of going to Korea too. So we go to the jump. So matter of fact, before we go to jump school, I didn't take any leave. I don't think I didn't. I finished training all the way up through jump school before I took leave. Matter of fact, I went straight from Fort Gordon, Georgia, to Columbus, Georgia, at Fort Benning to do jump school. That's right, I sure did. I remember now because right after I finished jump school, I took a long ass. It was like a 30-day leave because it was like around Christmas time and all that. You know what I'm saying? I remember now. So we leave Fort Gordon, Augusta, Georgia. I go to Fort Benning in Columbus, Georgia, and this airborne school is high speed, and airborne school is not just Army. So it's Army instructors, Army facilities, Army, gear, Army this, Army that. But the students come from all the different services. The military has one training post where they do all the training for all the airborne soldiers. That means for the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, whoever is going to be airborne. Anybody that's in the military that's airborne, they've been to Fort Benning, Georgia, Columbus, Georgia, right? So it was some high speed shit. You know what I'm saying? You got all these different services. It's kind of like a competition too, because you got all these different services. You don't want to make you want the Army to look the hardest. You don't want the Marines to outdo the Army on the Army post. You don't want the Air Force to outdo the Army on the Army post. You don't want the Navy to outdo the Army on the Army. It's like that. So it's kind of, not only is it high speed, but it's super competitive too. And don't nobody give a fuck if you get sent home either. It ain't the type of thing. It's a team thing kinda, but it's so short. It's 3 weeks, so it's not long enough really for you to build any type of bond with the other people that's there training. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have anybody there from my unit, from my AIT. So it was just all new people. You know what I'm saying? I was the only one going to airborne school from my AIT, in my unit or whatever. So you gotta run everywhere you go. There's no such thing as walking. I don't give a fuck if you drop something. If y'all running the child, here y'all run there. Everyone, and you gotta be in formation too. Not only do you have to run, but you have to be in formation running. So you can't just be loose. It can't be just 5 people just running, just loose. Or, have to be in a formation and have to be somebody calling the commands and all that. If it's full, it's full speed ahead. You got the Army there. You got the Navy there. You got the Marines there. You got the Coast Guard there. You got all the forces there training, competing to get these wings on their chest, right? So we go through the training part, where we practicing jumping off, we practicing jumping, we practicing falling, we practicing all this stuff. It's a daily occurrence. We doing PT hard, we doing rough PT. We running miles, we running like minimum 6 miles every morning, minimum. Really more than that on some days, but minimum 6 miles. We running every day. Everywhere you go, you gotta run. It's high speed. So that first week, if I'm not mistaken, I don't even think you jump the first week. If I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, all of the jumps were in the last week. That's why they call it jump week. Now that I remember, it's called jump week because that's the week you do all your jumps. You know what I'm saying? But there were 5 jumps that you had to complete. There was one Hollywood jump, which is the first jump. A Hollywood jump is you don't have any gear. All you have is your parachute, your reserve, and your ass. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have your rifle and your rucksack and your this and your that and this, that, and the third. You don't have 100 pounds of gear stacked on top of you, what weight you already have. So that's why they call it a Hollywood jump. You know what I'm saying? So the first jump is a Hollywood jump. And then after that, I think was the second a Hollywood jump too? No, I don't think the second one was a Hollywood jump. I think the next 2, that's right. The next 2 were not Hollywood. The next 2 jumps, we had all of our gear and everything. We had all of our. I think we did 2 daytime jumps and then 2 nighttime jumps. So there was a Hollywood jump, and then there was 2 daytime jumps and 2 nighttime jumps. The 4 jumps that were not the Hollywood jump, those jumps we were in all our gear, meaning we had our rifle, we had our rucksack, we had our canteens, we had our, you name it, we had it. We had another, I don't remember the exact weight. They told us the exact weight, I just don't remember. But if I can recall correctly, I think it was like either 50 or 60 pounds or something like that. More gear that we had attached to us, you know what I'm saying, along with the parachutes, this, that, and the third, all this other stuff, right? Parachute and reserve, right? So, first jump. One thing that I really remember about the first jump a lot was the preparation that when we were prepared for the jump. That was like damn near worse than the actual jump. Big ass plane garage, like that one. I forgot what they called, but the big ass plane garage thing. We in one of those, and that's where we're doing our checks. Cause they make you check your parachute and check your reserve and all that, and check all your different straps and make sure everything's tight and everything's on correctly and all that. You checking the person in front of you, you're checking their stuff. And same thing with the person that's behind you. They checking your stuff. It's like a line like that. You checking everybody's stuff. You checking your own stuff. This is going on for a long. This goes on for a long time before you even get on the plane and all that. Is making sure the gear is in order. Everybody's stuff is strapped up correctly, and everybody's ready to go. That process alone is multiple hours. You know what I'm saying? Also considering how many people are about to jump. I don't remember exactly how many, but if I can say that if you were to look up a C-130 and see how many people it held, I would say that it was probably damn near filled to the max. And we also jumped out of a C-5. So if you look up a C-5, see how many people it holds, and I could say it was probably filled to the max. So it had damn near that many people, however many people it could hold, right? So, first jump. Let's talk about the first jump. So my first jump, like I say, we stayed in the bunker. Is it a bunker? I'm going to call it a bunker because I can't remember the name of it. So we're in the bunker. We're getting all our gear together. It's in the third. You know, like I said, it was a Hollywood jump, so we didn't have all of our gear. We didn't have our rifle. We didn't have our rucksack. We didn't have a lot of stuff we didn't have. We were light in the ass. You know what I'm saying? But this was everybody's first jump out of a plane. You know, this was big. You know what I'm saying? For everybody, the whole unit, this is big. This is our first time jumping out of a fucking plane, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, me, everything's going good. But the only complaint I had really, I'm just saying it now. I wasn't complaining about it then. I was in army mode. I wasn't trying to be no whiny baby about shit. But I did have one thing that was bothering me. One of my straps was on tight as hell. It was like cutting off my damn circulation and shit. But I didn't want to loosen it or anything because I didn't want to loosen it. I wanted it to be tight. You know what I'm saying? So there was that. So we finally got all our gear checked out. This, that, and the third. We finally got to the plane. We loaded up on the plane. And we take off, right? We're in the air. I believe on the video I made before, I said that we jumped over Oklahoma or Alabama. I don't remember. It was either I want to say Oklahoma. I want to say the jump zone was in Oklahoma. I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong. I gotta look some stuff up. But so the plane flew. The first Hollywood jump, I believe, was from 1,200 feet. So we get in the plane, we take off, we flying on our way to the jump zone, right? Guess what happens to me? I get motion sickness. You know what I'm saying? Yep, I get motion sickness on the plane. You know what I'm saying? My stomach starts feeling all crazy. I'm feeling dizzy. I get the whole gamut of shit that you get when you get motion sickness. About to feeling like you gotta throw up, you know. Dizzy, headache, All of that. I'm feeling all of that. And this is my first jump in the US Army. Finna jump out of this motherfucking plane. And I'm up here sick and shit. I'm like, God damn. So I'm really trying to not look sick, but it's kind of obvious. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing the whole, you know how you be trying to hold in your throw up and shit. I'm doing that. You know what I'm saying? So people know what's going on and all that. But everybody just trying to rock with me on, no, we ain't see, that ain't what we looking at. He good. He gonna jump. You know what I'm saying? So the jump master starts to give the commands to jump. You know what I'm saying? He opens the door. He opens the door. He opens the door and you can just immediately just hear the rushing wind rushing past the door. And it's the loudest sound I've ever heard in my life. It's you can't really hear anything. You can hear the jump master barely, only because he's yelling as loud as he possibly could fucking yell. He might even had a megaphone. I don't remember if he had one or not, but I do remember we heard him. You know what I'm saying? So he gave his commands. One command was these. I'm not gonna say the name of the command. I'm just gonna say what the command told us to do, because I don't remember the names of the commands. But I remember one was to stand up. Then the next was to face forward, right face. So right face. Well, no, wait, because if you were on the other side, it wouldn't be a right face. Face, center. There was a center command? I gotta remember my Army stuff now. There were people sitting on both sides, but I think the people on the other side kind of like, yeah, I think that's what happened. I think the people that were sitting on the other side just kind of made a line and kind of got in line on the side I was on. I was on the side of the door where where we were jumping from. So I think the people on the other side just got in a line and just followed by. If I remember correctly, I don't know. It was either that or the jump master just. No, you know what? No, I got it wrong. They did not fall in the line. He would give the commands for each side. So he would say, left side, up, stand up, right face. Okay, that's what happened now. I remember now. He would say, that's why I'm saying right face, because it was a right for me. But for them, he would say left face. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and then he would just, once each person got to the door, he would give another command, say jump. And he would pat us on the parachute, right? So he was doing that. So boom, people jumping, boom, people jumping, jump, boom, people jumping, boom, people jumping. Here comes my turn. I get up here to the damn door. You can't hear nothing. I got motion sickness. I'm down there about to throw up. I'm like, man, in my mind, I'm thinking, how did I even get here like this? I'm in this doorway of this fucking plane, about to jump out. I got fucking motion sickness. This is not gonna go well. You know what I'm saying? So the jump master was like, jump. It was my turn. He jump. He hit my chute and everything. I didn't jump. I just stood there. I didn't jump. Guess what happens next? The fucking jump master kicked me out of the fucking plane. He put his foot on my goddamn on my back on the parachute, and he booted me up out that motherfucker. Now, what happened was, I didn't go far enough out of the plane. When you're taught to do these jumps, you're taught to jump as far as you can, to step as far as you can out of the plane, so that way you don't hit the plane and you pretty much clear the plane, right? Guess what I didn't do? Clear the plane. You know what I'm saying? So when he kicked me out, he didn't kick me out far enough. It was kind of his fault, because he didn't kick me out far enough, and I connected with the motherfucking plane, man. I thought it was over. When I connected with that goddamn plane, I thought it was over. To me, that was it. Crash and burn. Can't write home to mama about it. None of that. It's over. In my mind, that's what I'm thinking. As soon as I hit the plane, I'm thinking it's over. But then the static line pulls my chute. The static line is the line that's connected from the inside of the plane to your ripcord on your chute. So that way, when you jump out, it automatically pulls the chute. That's why when you see the Army movies and all that, and you'll see the guys jumping out, and you'll see the shoes just opening back to back to back to back, just opening down there on the same timing type situation. It's because the chute is being pulled out by the static line. You know what I'm saying? So the static line goes and pulls my chute out, boom, and I'm just floating. It's the craziest feeling. I done a lot of wild shit in my life. Jumping out of the plane, and when you up there, that shit is nuts. It's nuts. It's fucking nuts. You feel like a fucking superhero or something. You feel like, matter of fact, you feel like you're not even going down. You feel like you just flying. You feel like you just sitting there flying. You're so high that, and you're so small in reference to the earth and the universe and the atmosphere and all that. At a certain height, once you get up so high, it don't even seem like, when you coming down on a parachute, it don't even seem like you going down. It seems like you just floating there. You know what I'm saying? So that was my experience. So I feel like I'm just floating here. I can see the whole fucking, damn, it look like I can see the world. The world actually looks like it does on the Google map. The Google, we got to give them their props. They did a very good rendition of how the earth looks. Because when you up there and you looking down on it, it actually looks like it looks on the Google Maps. That's a fact. So, did my first jump. I'm coming down for my landing. I floated up there. I wasn't floating, but in my mind, that's what I thought I was doing. So I started coming down. I can start noting now. The farther I get, the closer I get to the ground, the more it looks like I'm going down. You know what I'm saying? Like, the higher you are, it doesn't look like you're going down. But once you get closer to the ground, it starts to look like you're going down, like, fast. So I get prepared. I do everything I was trained to do. I do my landing. I damn near hit everything perfect on my first jump. Boom. Grab my gear. Once you got your gear together, you had to run with your gear all the way back to some bleachers. There was some bleachers about maybe 3/4 mile away from where most people were landing at. You know what I'm saying? And it would be different because people landed in different areas and whatnot. But for the most part, it was about maybe 3/4 of the miles away from the main area where everybody was landing. So you had to get your gear and you had to run. You couldn't walk, you couldn't jog. You had to actually run to the fucking bleachers. If they caught you not running with all your gear and all that, you would be dismissed. You would be sent back to your unit. Airborne School is extremely strict. You would get dismissed and sent back to your unit for damn near anything. Anything. If you fell out a run, you couldn't fall out any runs. I don't give a damn if they running a child, whatever. You couldn't fall out a run. You couldn't do nothing. Your ass would get sent home. That's why I'm so proud of my wings, because I earned them motherfuckers. I didn't get sent home. I watched a lot of motherfuckers get sent home. You know what I'm saying? My little Marine homegirl, she broke her motherfucking collarbone. And that's another thing you couldn't do. You couldn't get hurt. They would send you home. If you got hurt, you get sent home. My Marine homegirl, she was in the barracks with us. I'm talking about a little runt chick. She was in the Marines. Little small little thing, probably like 4 foot something type shit. Maybe she might have been 5'1", 5'2", some shit. She was real short, real runt, but strong, athletic. You know, love to pop her shit. I believe she was Puerto Rican, and she was beautiful too. And she broke her motherfucking collarbone. We were the only ones that knew. Us in the barracks were the only ones that knew about it. She didn't even go. She was so motherfucking tough. She didn't even go. She didn't even tell the jump masters or the drill sergeants or none of that, because she didn't want to get sent home. She wanted to get her wings first. So she finished out like the last week or so with a broken. Not last week, but like the last 4 or 5 days, she completed it with a broken collarbone. That's a fact. This girl was so motherfucking tough. She broke down on the day that we got our wings. That's when she broke down and cried, and she, you know what I'm saying, held her. She didn't. I don't think she knew that she had a broken collarbone though. I just thought she knew. I think she just thought she was fucked up. She didn't know she had a broken collarbone until She went to the doctor or whatever, and they told her what the fuck was going on with her. But she was fucked up. But she refused to give up, and she finished her jumps and everything. The shit was wild. Straight up, I can't remember. I'm bad with names. I cannot remember her name. But it was a little chick in the Marines, real little runt type chick. Pretty and everything. She was a Marine. She was tough as hell. I'm sorry, the Marines, I'm not gonna even lie. The Marines, they be on some more shit. Army, we tough as hell too. But the Marines, they be on some more shit. Straight up. You throw a Marine anywhere, they gonna survive. Straight up. You take a Marine and just throw them anywhere. In any type of cipher, any type of civilization, any country. Drop them off in any country. Just take them and just drop them off in any country. They gonna survive. They gonna figure it out. They gonna make a way. That's how they train to do. Is to not stop until it's mission complete type shit. So she was a Marine and she did that too. She finished the school, got her wings and everything. I was so proud of her too. Everybody was so proud of her because we knew that she was fucked up. What happened was she had got caught up. She when she did one of her jumps, one of her feet or something got caught in the fucking ropes. They're not called ropes. I'm calling that right now for lack of a better term. Reins or something like that. But her foot got caught in the motherfucker, so she was upside down when she came down on one of her jumps. She came down fucking upside down type shit. And that she actually was lucky because you can fuck around and get your foot or something caught up in there, and that shit can throw off the whole balance of that whole chute. And that chute could go sideways or some shit. And now that motherfucker ain't even got no air and you just speeding down to the ground. So at least we can say she did have the air to shoot to at least slow her down. She wasn't just coming down full speed ahead. But a lot of people don't understand when you jumping on them chutes, you still coming down fast in the motherfuckers. You ain't coming down soft and all that. Like the big square chutes that like the Rangers and all that use because they want to land in a specific. With the square chute, you can land on top of an apartment building type shit. You know what I'm saying? With the round chutes, you gotta just land wherever that motherfucker take you pretty much. Just in the general, you can steer it a little, but not really. You just gonna land wherever they drop your ass at, right? And that motherfucker coming down fast. It ain't coming down like the little square chute. The little square chute, you can kind of land off that bitch on your feet and just kind of run it off. You're not finna land on your feet coming down on the round chute. You're not even taught to land on your feet. You taught to fall and roll out of the fall. But yeah, this Marine chick, she finished the school and everything. I'm talking about forward tough, ran this motherfucker. But yeah, airborne school in my first jump was crazy because I got motion sickness. You know what I'm saying? It was nuts. I did complete it. It was amazing. Probably that was the most beautiful scenery that I've ever seen. Being able to look at the earth from that view. You know what I'm saying? And not be in a plane or anything. Just be open atmosphere looking at it. That shit was fucking thorough. I ain't gonna even lie. You know what I'm saying? But that was the story of my first jump. I'm gonna tell that I did 5 jumps. I'm what the other airborne soldiers would call a 5-jump chump. You know what I'm saying? Because after I left airborne school and I did my 30 days leave and all that, I went to Korea. And when I went to Korea, my unit there was not an airborne unit. So I didn't continue to jump during training or anything. You would have to be in an airborne unit in order to continue jumping once you leave the jump school, right? So I'm what they call a 5-jump chump. But I'm going to tell you about all 5 jumps. And this was the first. This Somebody Media. I'm out. Killer, listen, I got a little missing. Ain't nobody tripping if Zimmerman missing. Then what? We cut him in pieces, we feed him the fishes. Them bitches want water, we grant them they wishes. Thanks.